Hello again, and we are doing lessons on how to use grammar accurately while writing down the essay. And in this series, in this video, we are going to see how to use articles appropriately and accurately, right? So I'm not going to teach you any rules of articles here because that's not easy to cover in a short video, but through examples or through mistakes that most of the time candidates make while writing the essay, I will try to explain all possible rules which is relevant to you, right? So we will do it with the help of the most common mistakes that IELTS candidates make while appearing the test, right? So this is the first one. As world is changing, society is becoming more competitive. Can you tell me what is the mistake? I think you must know what is article. Article means using a, an, or the, or leaving a and the. Both are the part of the rules. So let's try to understand with this. We'll try to understand the rule from this. So as world is changing, society is becoming more competitive. Let's see what is the problem here if you cannot find. Yes, the problem is that world, wherever we are using world, we have to use the world because the is used before the thing or before something which is unique in this universe, and that is only one. So we said the earth, the world, the universe, right? The sun, the moon. That's why it is the world. Second example, I think computers play an important role in the society. What do you think is the problem here? Can you find the problem here? What's the problem? Are we missing any articles here, or have we added additional articles here? No. Okay, let's see the answer. So the society and society. So we cannot use the society because we're not referring here to any particular society where we live. All right. So in general, if we're using a word, we have to use no articles. Right. So when we say, but if I say the society where I live is congested. So here I can use the because I'm talking about a particular society. But if I'm talking about society in general or as a whole, you don't need to. And you can see here as well in this example, society is becoming more competitive because we are talking about society in general, right? So if when we talk in general, we don't use the as an article, right? If students are allowed to use the computers in class, they can easily access the latest information. Think over it. Do you think that we need to add some articles somewhere, or do you think some additional articles have been added? You can keep thinking by pausing the video, but I'll have to go ahead with the answer. The answer is we cannot use the computers, so we have to use computers. So whenever we use any plural noun, computers is plural, we don't need to use they or is at all, not required, because I'm talking about computers as a whole. I'm not talking about any specific computer. So that's the main difference. The is used when we talk about something specific, right? So we say, but if I say, see, these are the computers that I have purchased this week. So here we can say the computers because you are talking about particular computers that you have purchased. But here I'm just talking about computers as in general. So students are allowed to use computers. It should not be the computer. Most of the time, whenever we are using plural, we don't use any article until and unless it is specified, right? As the result, these children often struggle with a health issue, and these issues can affect them throughout life, right? So think over it. You can pause the video and you can think, but I have to go ahead with the answer. So there is nothing like as the result in English. This is a fixed expression. We always say as a result. The second one is here is said the health issue. I'm sorry, I forgot to color it in red. But the health issues are wrong here because children often struggle with the health issues. Again, the same thing. I'm not here talking about any particular health issues. I'm talking about health issues in general. So we have to remove this the from here. So we'll say often struggle with health issues. But if I say something like that, the health issue that children are suffering in this locality is plague. So now we are talking about the particular health issue in a particular locality, and this is particularly mentioned plague. So there we can use it. So here, and and these issues can affect them throughout a life. This is wrong. We don't say a life. A life is not used. We simply say life. We don't say a life is valuable. We don't say that, but it's not a countable noun. We cannot say a life, two life, three life, four life, right? We can't say that. So we don't use any countable noun type of article. So it's simply life. See the next example. It is necessary to keep in mind that the older the people get, the more experienced they are, right? Have you got something? It's necessary to keep in mind that the older the people get, the more experienced they are. Okay, again the same thing. You can see we are talking about people in general here, so we cannot say the people because we are not talking about a particular. We can't say the people of India. There we can say the because we are talking about a specific country's people. But general, the older the people get, the more experienced they are. We can't use the here. Well, so what you have understood that if we talk about something in general, we don't use the, right? That's something that, and also before plurals the same rule is applicable. Now just some more example. People can access an information from a computer. Let's see what's the problem here. Are we missing anything here? Let's see this. People can access an information because information is a countable noun. Not, we cannot count information in English. So it's an uncountable noun. So we cannot say an information. We cannot say an furniture. We cannot say there are many words and like n life, a life. We can't say that because these are uncountable nouns. So we cannot use a before uncountable noun. So it's people can access information. If we have to use a anyway, then we can say people can access a piece of information that is possible from a computer. Again, our computer, because we are not talking about any particular computer, so we cannot use the here, right? Next one. Some people argue that the books are the best type of media for communicating information. For communicating information, it's fine. Let's see what's the problem here. Argue that the books, again the same thing, because we are not talking about any specific books, so we simply have to use books. Their parents always plan and give them a best school to study. I hope you must have got it by now. Let's see this. We cannot use a before a superlative degree like best, worst, most intelligent. You have to say he is the most intelligent boy, so it should be the best. As studies show, rate of obesity is rising all terms, right? So whenever we use rate, we should use the rate. We just don't use rate. So even if you ask me what is the rate of vegetables, we cannot say what is rate of vegetables. That's not correct. So just keep in mind. The student cannot expected to be well behaved all the time. What's the problem here? The same problem. We are not talking about any particular student. We are talking about a student in general, and it is not plural, right? It's not plural, so we have to use a. If it was plural, it should be simply students cannot expected to be. Here it's not plural, so we have to use a student, right? Some people argue that the teenagers spend too much time on internet. That's the problem. First, that the teenagers spend too much time. Again, the same thing. We're talking about teenagers in general, so we don't need to use the. And internet, as the world, internet is always preceded by the, so you have to keep it in mind as a thumb rule, right? The last one, this is problem because if they do not get enough exercise, they can end up suffering from an obesity, right? You got a problem? No. So let's look at this. First, this is problem because, so it's not plural, so you need to use a here. This is a problem because in general we are talking about, so a can be used. The, of course, cannot be used because we don't know what is the problem. So most of the time, whenever we're using a countable noun, I'm talking about countable, so we can say one problem, two problems, three problems. Most of the time we use a when we discuss the thing in general. We don't, and if it is plural, we don't use any articles. But if we discuss the thing not in general, then we, it is specific, then we use they. Always keep this in mind. Again, obesity is something that we don't use, and we cannot count obesity. We cannot say there are 4 obesity in this market. It's not possible. So we have to skip this n here. Right, there are some other rules that you can read in any book, but these are the mistakes that mostly students make in IELTS essay writing. There are some other rules, so I'll send you through the PDF format of articles. You can go through them and you can study them, right? So that's all about this video. Thank you very much for watching it. See you very soon in the next video. Bye.